Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nice to Meet You. This is your host, Simone, and this is, the podcast, Conversations, Friends, Strangers. You know the deal. It's been 2 years, and I wanted to make this video to say thank you to all of you for supporting me for the past 2 years, for being guests, for listening. I'm really excited for what's in store for the future, and I'm really thankful for what's already happened. Can't believe it's been 2 years. Don't know if this year... Anyway, I just wanted to talk to you guys more about the mission of the podcast and what I've been thinking about and what's happening moving forward. So I've been reading this book, All About Love, New Visions by Bell Hooks. And it was recommended actually by a podcast guest, DeAndre, and I'm reading it for another podcast guest, book club, Ashley. And not that that's relevant. But anyway, this book is about love. And it's really about a commentary on society, about, about where love is lacking and about how we've sort of lost love in society. She talks about how we don't really think about love too much and how we don't really let ourselves define it. And as someone who's always been obsessed with love, this book was it for me. She talks about American culture and being so focused on power that we aren't able to focus on love, because at the end of the day, power is almost the opposite of love. You love by giving up your power. So this book was very affirming for me because I've always been someone who's just trying to figure out what love is, what it means, how you find it, how you foster it, really just trying to figure out what this amorphous thing called love is. And I've never really felt like I had the space to ask that question or have those conversations, because at a certain point I feel like it seems like I'm trying to be oh, love doesn't exist, when I really just don't understand it. And I've just been trying to. Anyway, I feel like I came to all these conclusions that she's talking about in this book about love and society in the past few years as I've just had time to sit and think and understand the world around me. I feel like we've lost our sense of community, and in that we've sort of lost our sense of love. But what does that have to do with the podcast? What does that have to do with this anniversary? And what does it have to do with the video commemorating the anniversary of the podcast? So in a lot of the newer episodes, I talk about how I didn't really have a vision when I was starting this podcast. I was just someone who really enjoyed going to happy hour and meeting people and having parties and bringing people together. In the year, during COVID, I've had so much time to sit and think and really try to understand what would make a fulfilling life for me. So in that thought process, I realized that I really want to be more involved in the community. I was thinking about the network that I have with this Nice to Meet You podcast, and I started imagining what we could do. I also like to talk a lot about the power of ideas and how one person with one idea could change the world. I don't think I'm there yet, but I was still feeling unfulfilled. So I started looking at society and looking at my privilege and where I was spending my time. I knew that I needed something that felt like it was giving me purpose, that felt like I was helping someone and felt like my presence mattered. So reading this book, as well as a lot of conversations with all of you, have affirmed my thought processes about what matters and how I should be living and how I should be connected to my community and what it really means to be involved in your community. I know that one thing that I really truly want to do is bring people together. I want people to feel seen. I want them to feel heard. I want them to know that they are loved, and I want them to know that they matter. I want people to feel like they are not alone in their thoughts, their ideas, their ideals, their feelings, and their way of life. I really just truly want people to know that there are other people out there like them and that they are not alone. I hope that you've been able to learn something from the podcast about other people, if not also yourself. I've really enjoyed doing this podcast for the past 2 years. I know I've learned so much through all of these conversations that I had to go back and start doing these highlight episodes. So I have a lot of dreams for the future of this podcast and the future that we all have in this world. And I really hope that you will help me in that journey of being more involved in the community and caring more and loving more. So yeah, that's my spiel. I made it through. Other than that, thank you guys so much again for listening. The anniversary episode is out now. Nice to Meet You will be moving to Thursdays, so check out the newest episode of the 3rd season on Thursday. yeah, like I said, anniversary episodes out, newest on Thursday. Highlight episodes are coming out also. So please check that out. And also check out the archive. There's so much of a breadth of conversation in there that I'm sure that you can find. They're literally just hours of entertainment. So yeah. If you guys would like to follow the podcast on IG and Twitter, that's at NTMY Podcast. And check out the website because it was just redesigned and it looks amazing. Thank you so much, Shamiro. And subscribe to the YouTube. I'm going to start posting videos on there also. I hope that you're all doing well and that you're all staying safe. And until next time, y'all, thank you so much.